So today we're going to discuss how you can increase your self-esteem and self-confidence as a recovering codependent or as a recovering people pleaser. So let's get into it. Hello guys, my name is Hannah Grace. I hope you guys are doing really well. Welcome back to my channel to those of you who are returning, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. My journey to becoming more self-confident really began when I left my relationship with my partner of 4.5 years who had narcissistic traits. The relationship often was very confusing for me. I found myself really confused as to who I was. It really messed with my sense of identity, my sense of confidence and my sense of reality. I entered into the relationship knowing who I was in part. I knew that I liked certain things. I knew about myself to some degree, and I had some level of self-confidence, but that was ripped to shreds in the relationship. I found the relationship very challenging for me. I found that I was in survival mode for the majority of the relationship. My expectations of what I expected to have and what I expected to receive in the relationship wasn't forthcoming. And as a codependent and as someone who wanted to be loved and wanted love, I was searching for love, and I thought, okay, this is the perfect opportunity for me to be in a loving relationship. So as a loving relationship, and what I understood about love is that you give. And so I gave my time, I gave my energy, I gave my best, I impressed, I showed him. And yes, part of it was people pleasing, but most of it was I genuinely loved him and I wanted to show him that, I'm in it for the long haul. And I really honestly felt that this was what God wanted. I thought he was the one for me, and so I gave. And when it wasn't forthcoming, when it wasn't reciprocated, I thought, okay, maybe I should give more. Maybe I need to show him. And it felt like I had to impress him. I had to show him that I deserved the love, and he wasn't going to give me more than what he was giving me already. And I just had to accept that. But that's something I couldn't accept. I thought, no, surely I can get more out of him if I just love him more, if I do more for him. And that's something I speak about in my video I made last week, which I will link up here. And I was talking about how we just need to accept certain things as codependents and people pleasers as we're recovering. And that was one of it. I needed to accept that he wasn't going to love me in the way I wanted him to love me, and just accepted it. But I thought, no, I can change him. And that is how, growing up, I was taught that you can change a man if you love him, if you get his heart, if you do what he wants you to do, if he loves you, if you do certain things for him, and he loves you, and he's all about you, you can change him, man. So I thought I can change him. Oh, it's fine. He ticks all the other boxes that I want in a man at that time in my life. Okay, cool. Let's make it happen. And so I would give and I would give, and I gave and I gave and I gave, and it wasn't really forthcoming. And it felt like my whole life was wrapped around him. I felt like I was dependent on him for approval. My automatic thought processes were to make him happy, do what makes him happy, because in so doing, I will be happy. Because when he's happy, I'm happy, and we can all be happy together. And so I will pour into it. I will do, hoping that he will do some stuff for me. He would listen to what I want to do, because now he's happy and he's in a good mood. He can make me happy. He can give me some of what I wanted. And that's how I was taught, and that's what I expected, and it wasn't forthcoming. And it took my little heart by storm that I have invested so much and I'm not getting anything back from it. And oftentimes I would literally step outside of myself, and I'll see and observe what is going on in the relationship. And I will speak to myself and say, Hannah, why are you saying yes when you want to say no? Why are you allowing him to speak to you like this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I would justify it by saying, well, it's a Christian thing to do. You're supposed to submit to your partner, and we weren't even married, but I saw him as my husband. You're supposed to submit to your husband. You're supposed to be humble. You're supposed to love. You're supposed to give. Love is all about giving, and love is about giving, and it's going to get reciprocated. Don't worry. He's going to eventually change. If he loves you, he's going to change. You're going to get what you want. And it wasn't forthcoming. And I justified it by, well, this is our culture. I know how it is. Culture says, please a man, give the man food. He's happy, you win his heart over. It's coming, Hannah, it's coming. Don't worry. You're going to get a return on your investment. It's fine. But then I realized quickly that my level of success in this relationship is not in my hands. It's based on him. I can't change him. I can't make him love me the way I want him to love me. I can't make him do the things I want him to do. I just had to accept it, that he wasn't going to change. And so I had to exit this relationship quickly. And my self-esteem in this relationship had plummeted so severely because I was saying things, doing things I didn't want to do, hoping that I would get a return on investment, and having to realize that I wasn't going to. And even whilst I was in the action, telling myself, what are you doing? Asking myself, what are you doing? You're doing things that are not normal for you. Why are you doing this? And just that shame of realizing that I had ignored myself, my true self, or the self that I had, the sense of self that I had that was strong and that was tangible to me. I was denying that for this relationship that I knew wasn't going to work in the first place. I saw the red flags and I knew that we're different people, but I thought I could change him. I thought I can show him that I loved him so much that he would love me back and give me what I wanted, which was love. And that's what is wrong. I was coming into the relationship searching for things that I'm supposed to have given myself, which is self-love, respect. And, you know, even being a Christian, as much as I loved God and as much as I knew God loved me, I had to love myself. I had to appreciate myself. I had to know my value. But I didn't really know my value. And that's where it all begins. It begins when you begin to understand your value. Your value is intrinsic. Your value is not on the things you can say or what you can do, your bank account, and all of these things. Those things are nice. Those things are nice. Those things will probably give you the advantage in life, but it doesn't determine your intrinsic value. It doesn't determine your value as a human being. It doesn't determine your value as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a man, as a person. It doesn't determine your value. Your value is intrinsic. You are made, as a woman, you are made beautiful. You are perfect as you are. God made you in his image and likeness. That's men and females. God made you in his image and likeness. You have a mind, you have a spirit, you have a soul, you have a destiny. You are still alive, breathing today. And your value is not based on a man's evaluation of your performances in the house. How you cook, how you throw it down in the bedroom, how you do this or how you do that. Your value is intrinsic. And that freed me. When I started learning about my true value, that freed my mind that all these things that I was placing my value on, and hence my self-confidence and how I felt about myself, that wasn't where my value came from. My value came from God. And somewhere along the lines, I don't know how I misconstrued this truth of my value. I misplaced it and put my value in a man because I felt like the man's love was tangible because I'm physically with you. But God's love is there, but I wanted to feel, I wanted to touch, I wanted to grasp that love. And this idea of a man being superior to a woman and a woman being subordinate to a man is fueled by our cultural beliefs as Africans, as ethnic minority groups, that a man is better than a woman and a woman's value is based on his evaluation of her in the house, in how she does things and not who she really is. And this promotes male narcissism. This promotes women being codependent, and it essentially encourages women to have low self-esteem. And so when a woman finally wakes up and says, you know what, I'm more than this. Though I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but I know that I deserve more than what I'm receiving now. I've got to go. I've got to find myself. I've got to do the self-work that I was avoiding all these years that I was supposed to have done before I entered into this relationship. I've got to do it. I've got to boost my self-esteem. I've got to get myself whole. And that's the journey of becoming. And that's the journey of you rediscovering yourself. And that's the journey of you recovering from codependency, recovering from people pleasing. And so the first thing is knowing your true value, which is what I mentioned before. Knowing your true value. Knowing that your value does not come from the things that are physical. Your value comes from God. The next thing is becoming more self-aware. The more cognizant you are of what's coming into your minds and how you feel, how you think at a given time, will definitely help you in this journey of becoming more confident. And the confidence that you need to recover from codependency. You need to know and be aware of what's coming in your mind. What thoughts are you thinking? How are you feeling? Why are you thinking like this? What's making you feel like this? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What makes you feel more confident? What makes you feel less confident? So those things that are your weaknesses, you're able to pre-plan. So whenever you're in a situation where you feel less confident, You're able to, draw on that plan, draw from that plan, and draw from the plan of action, and know how to navigate yourself through this situation that you are lacking self-confidence in. And when you come across a negative thought, a negative imagination, a negative feeling, you're able to get rid of that thought promptly. And the prompter you are at getting rid of these negative thoughts and imaginations that are not serving you, the more you respect yourself, the more you appreciate yourself, that you're able to defend yourself from these negative intruders that are coming into your mind. And the more you respect yourself, the more you appreciate yourself, the more you start becoming more confident within yourself. I can trust myself to defend myself. I don't have to put up with these thoughts anymore. And then you're starting to replace these negative thoughts and beliefs with positive affirmations, positive beliefs. And you start speaking words of affirmations, of words of hope over you, words of love, words of I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I can handle this. And the more you say it, the more your confidence is rising. And the more your confidence is rising, the more you have inspired thoughts and ideas that come into your mind, that once you take action on these thoughts and ideas, you start seeing yourself become more and more into your true self. And that builds your confidence more. So it's all a snowball effect. And it starts from just knowing that you are worthy. It really flips the switch. Because confidence is more than just an emotion. Confidence is a mindset. It's a mindset that I'm going to make this happen. And that mindset comes from conditioning, reconditioning, rewiring our minds to wholeness. Rewiring our minds to, I can do all things. Nothing is impossible. I don't need validation. So the next thing is stop seeking validation. And I know for me that was very difficult for me, because after this breakup, I spoke to my sister pretty much every day, multiple times a day. And she was like my agony aunt. I would speak to her about how I felt. She would validate my feelings. She would give me her opinions. And it felt really good. It felt like I was being heard. I felt seen. But it got to a point where one day I was about to call her and just discuss, as we normally discuss, and just to get her opinion and just to feel better about myself. The Holy Spirit told me, no, do not call her. And I thought, why? Why shouldn't I call her? And I knew what he was saying, but I didn't want to accept it. He said to me that you are relying on her far too much. She's now become a crutch for you, and you're not really allowing yourself to think of things yourself. And though I had my opinions, I just wanted validation. I was seeking validation from her, for me to feel good, for me to have confidence to move on and make a decision that I needed to make. And so when he said no, I thought, oh my gosh, I got really scared, because this is years and years of relying on her, years and years of just speaking and helping me through my thinking and my thought processes in the relationship and after the relationship. And so having to just rely on myself was challenging, but it really helped me become more self-confident. It really helped me to recover my lost autonomy. The autonomy that I gave up because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I couldn't trust myself. And don't get me wrong, I had withdrawal symptoms. I felt shell-shocked at times. I felt like I don't know if I can make a decision. I'm too scared. I don't know what to do. But God said, rely on me. Ask me about it. But in all honesty, it was like, God, but you take too long to reply. I don't know. Sometimes I get confused. Is it you? Is it not you? And that was because I wasn't still enough to hear him speak. And the moment I started becoming more still, I started becoming relaxed and relying on myself, and said, no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to find the solution. I'm going to rely on God. His voice started to become more clearer and clearer into my mind, because I gave time for it. And I forced myself essentially to be in a position of calm, in a position where I can receive and hear what I need to do, the next best step. So these are the things you need to be able to cultivate as you're on this journey of recovery from people pleasing, from codependency. Being able to know that you are worthy, being able to know that you are valuable, that your value does not come from the things you do, becoming more self-aware of yourself, your likes, your dislikes, what your triggers are, being cognizant of what's the thoughts that's going on in your mind, getting rid of those negative thoughts, replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations, stating these affirmations, and being intentional. I stopped seeking validation. And though I said these things in sequential order, they don't necessarily have to follow that specific order. As for me, I was darting everywhere. Sometimes I would start with affirmations, then I went down to this, and I went everywhere. I did it all at once, essentially. And so I just want you guys to know that this journey is a tough one. The complete reframing of your mind, it takes work. and it takes persistence, it takes consistency, and it takes intentionality. And with those things, you'll definitely be able to see the difference, and you will increase your self-esteem and self-confidence, and you'll be able to recover as a codependent and as a people pleaser. So I really hope this video has been a blessing to you and has helped you. Leave your takeaways in the comments below. I love to hear, I love to see what you've taken away from this video. And I want you guys to have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful life. I wish you love and light on this journey of recovery from people pleasing and codependency. I'm here to help you. I'll be back next week, same time, same place, with another video to help you guys. So I'll see you guys then.